Hey everyone, Andrea Flack-Wetherald here for a message to anyone who is really hoping to change a culture, whether that is the place where you work or your family or your neighborhood or whatever. You can change a culture, but you can't change a person, and you can't change their beliefs. So I was just speaking with an executive director of a nonprofit who's a good friend of mine, and she was feeling very angry after a meeting she was just in which a woman expressed some pretty sexist point of views that were essentially limiting beliefs, that she has about women, about what women are capable of or what women's place is in leadership. And my friend was feeling pretty upset and saying, but I feel like the right thing to do is for me to stay here and try to change this. And I said, I feel sad for that woman because I used to believe that, and that's a really hard weed to pull. And my friend was talking about, wanting to do the diligent work of pulling these weeds at this agency. But here's the delightful thing. Like, she was talking about how that feels exhausting and overwhelming. Yes, it does. It does. Good thing that's not your job. Good thing that as a leader, as a team member, when you see these kinds of weeds, it is not your job to pull them. It's not. I didn't pull that weed because somebody told me that I was wrong. I didn't pull that weed because somebody pulled it for me. I pulled that weed of just internal beliefs about what women were capable of. And if you know me, you know that I work in comedy and that I bring improv skills to different situations, specifically to help people navigate confrontation, but that I love comedy, and that's a big part of my professional background. And that is the place, and improv theater is the place where that weed was pulled for me, and it wasn't by someone telling me how ridiculous it was for me to believe that, men are funnier than women, or that there's a limited place for women, or that people won't take me seriously because I'm a woman, things that I have been told. It changed because I watched a female performer play the role of Justin Bieber with so much joy, and she was wearing nothing but boob tape and a blazer and chest hair she had drawn on with a brown Sharpie. She was having so much fun. She was hilarious. She stole the show. The audience was packed and people were just dying. Like, it was the funniest thing ever. And my initial reaction to seeing this was, is she allowed to do that? And then I realized, there's nobody in charge. Yes, she is. Look at her shining her light and having fun. And that set me free. It made me explore what I want to do. What would bring me joy? Start asking that question instead of what is possible, She helped me pull a weed of deeply rooted sexism and limiting beliefs around my gender by just shining her light and having fun, okay? Shining her light and having fun, being joyful. And that set me free. So if you are wondering, how can I change a culture? The answer is shine. Shine your light. So I made a little acronym mostly. I didn't come up with an N, as you can see. And yes, that is a whiteboard I stole from my children's virtual learning. So S, stop trying to pull someone else's weeds. You can't. You can't pull someone else's weeds for them. It will be a deeper and more meaningful experience for them anyway when they arrive at these deeper understandings that honor who they are on their own. So that's S, stop pulling other people's weeds. H is humbly ask. So, in the Peace Building Conspirators Facebook group, which I hope you'll join if you're not already a part of, we talk a lot about this idea of asking brave questions, and just asking with that improv skill of curiosity instead of judgment, really asking someone what that's about for them or how they came to believe that, or et cetera, et cetera. Humbly ask. I, investigate yourself, because there's a good chance that, when you identify a weed that someone else needs to pull, if you can operate with a little bit of humility, you might just find that is the reason that upset you, is that it's pointing at a weed that you could pull. It's pointing at work that you could do that would help you find some more freedom and some more joy in your life. And next letter, E. Exit when you need to. So boundaries are important. Just because you're realizing, okay, it's this person's job to, do their investigation. It's my job to just do me. It's my job to just shine my light and trust that when I am stepping into who I really am and I'm putting myself out there with vulnerability and courage, that is attractive. Like, spreading truth in that way by just living it, that is attractive, and that will help set people free. That will help people find the truth that they need in such an authentic and peaceable way. But that doesn't mean that, it's your job to march into difficult situations and shine your light purposefully when it feels taxing and exhausting. And it is okay for you to exit a situation when you realize you need to. And that doesn't mean that you're giving up forever. That means it's the end of this scene, right? Other people on the team will come out, they'll do some performing, to use the improv analogy, and then you'll get new information. You'll be inspired differently as the circumstances change, and you'll have fresh air and maybe feel inspired to step in a different way. So exit when you need to. That's shine. That's how you change a culture. And if you work in HR or you are the leader of a company and you're thinking, okay, but there's times when I have to provide accountability. There's times when whatever limiting belief shows up or whatever weed that needs to be pulled shows up. I can't just shine my light and hope for the best. I need to provide some accountability in order to protect from having a toxic culture. I hear you loud and clear. So if that's you and you're thinking, what do I do in that situation? I hope you'll go to andbeyondimprov.com/encouraging change. I have an hour-long webinar in which I teach the skills of mindful improv and also some evidence-based tools I learned in my time as a behavior modification coach, using the trans-theoretical model, using motivational interviewing to help people come alongside the process of change, the process of behavior modification. Specifically, if you have a great culture, but there's that one person that's just not coming along and is kind of poisoning the water hole for everyone. So if you are in HR or you are a leader and you want to learn how you can really reach that person, not just to, CYA measure or whatever in case you have to fire them later, but you really want this person to come along the process and actually do better, I hope you'll check that out, because there are some tools and resources that you can use in your process of coaching, in your process of providing accountability to help that person naturally come along the process instead of just being that equal and opposite reaction that so often happens in delicate conversations. So that's andbeyondimprov.com/encouraging change. It's a free webinar. I hope you'll check it out. And thanks for watching this video. If this was helpful, I hope that you'll share it with someone who might need this type of encouragement. Don't forget to shine your light, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.